April Fool's Day, the worst pranks in horror history. Bloody disgusting. Annabelle Comes Home poster brings the Conjuring universe full circle. Brightburn poster introduces a supervillain. New look at Dennis Quaid as the intruder. Chucky attacks Caesar's Palace and Child's Play elevator art. Leprechaun Returns finally gets a Blu-ray release. Video Gotham finally goes full Joker for series finale and he's pretty damn terrifying. TV review: The Dark Lord gives part 2 of chilling adventures of Sabrina. Darker focus and confidence. Did you spot the zombie homage to Return of the Living Dead on The Walking Dead last night? The Walking Dead ends excellent season 9 with one of the coolest, most unique episodes to date. Trailer: Fear the Walking Dead returns for 5th season in June. TV review: The Dark Lord gives part 2 of chilling adventures of Sabrina. Darker focus and confidence. The Walking Dead ends excellent season 9 with one of the coolest, most unique episodes to date. TV review: There's plenty to die for in Santa Clarita Diet season 3. TV review: Jordan Peele ushers in the perfect new Twilight Zone for our nightmare reality. Review: Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice is a beautiful, brutal ballet of butchery. April Fool's Day, the worst pranks in horror history. The Walking Dead ends excellent season 9 with one of the coolest, most unique episodes to date. Horror game: Faith's effective and honest letters remind us why reading horror matters. It came from the 80s, the cannibalistic underground dwellers of CHUD. Trapped by Gender, this is gonna get scary. An introduction. The Dead Don't Die trailer: watch Bill Murray and Adam Driver *CK up zombies. Quote-filled Pet Sematary trailer digs up atmosphere and scares. Video. Trailer: Fear the Walking Dead returns for 5th season in June. SNL discovers the true use of the tethered in Jordan Peele's Us. Child's Play's new Chucky is voiced by Mark Hamill. Bethesda to have cheat code in Rage 2 that enables Tim Kitzrow commentary from NBA Jam. The Sinking City Chrome extension has Thulha running for office. Madra hacks photo mode into Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice. Devil May Cry 5 DLC Bloody Palace mode now available. New Shadow of the Tomb Raider DLC, The Grand Cayman, out now. Falling prey to a hoax or prank on April Fool's Day often leads to hurt feelings or anger at being duped. In horror, the butterfly effect. Evan suffers from blackouts. It's rough. In the grand scheme of things, this prank is actually quite funny and not too terrible. Except that it results for popular teen Liz Purr. Her friends come up with complex pranks every year to celebrate her birthday. The latest is a kid. One dark night, Julie just wants to be friends with the popular trio of girls known as the Sisters. She's unaware, the orphanage. Shortly after moving into a former orphanage, young Simon learns he's adopted. He doesn't react. Trick or treat? For those that prefer retribution against their mean-spirited prankers, Trick or Treat has you covered. Of the intertwining candy cane? Hey, anybody know Terror Train? Often the killer behind the slayings in slasher movie is a victim of humiliation or unforgivable act that spurns them on to a murderous rampage. In Terror Train, the house on Sorority Row. For the graduating group of sorority sisters who just want to party, an uptight house mother that puts her foot down causes them to devise a prank that they hope will scare her into relenting. Instead, the slaughter high. Like poor Kenny from Terror Train, high school nerd Marty is subjected to sexual humiliation by way of vicious prank. But it doesn't stop the burning. Even the most seemingly harmless of pranks can lead to catastrophe. when a group of poor Carrie White. All she wanted was, copyright 2018 bloody disgusting, LLC.
Raindrop, drop top, smoking, no cooking the hot pot. Fucking on your bitch, yeah, that. Looking up, open the park pot.